After a 5-year hiatus, National Day fireworks display is set to return to Victoria Harbour on October 1st. Indonesia's president warns ASEAN members against getting dragged into big power rivalry. And North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un may soon go to Russia to meet Vladimir Putin. Good evening and welcome. Chief Executive John Lee said today the National Day fireworks display will return to Hong Kong after a 5-year hiatus, Mimosa Ngai reports. The police are following up new allegations of sex crimes related to university orientation camps. The Equal Opportunities Commission has called on witnesses or victims to speak up. CE John Lee also spoke out on the issue.
We must not tolerate any such behavior because the university students are the pillars of society in the future. We have expectations on them for them to behave. Any law-breaking behavior will be unacceptable. For school sponsoring bodies, management of universities, they need to ensure that a proper learning environment is provided within campuses.
The State Council today revealed more plans to develop the Shenzhen Park within the Hetao Shenzhen Hong Kong Science and Technology Innovation Cooperation Zone. Overseas, Indonesia's president has warned members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations against getting dragged into big power rivalry. This as ASEAN leaders gathered for a summit in Jakarta. Daniel Rao tells us more. U.S. media has reported that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un may soon travel to Russia to meet with President Vladimir Putin. The U.S. is concerned that the two may discuss North Korean arms sales to Russia for its war with Ukraine. Nazvi Karim has more.
Since September last year, North Korea has insisted it has never sold weapons to Russia and has no plans to do so. The United States is urging Pyongyang to stay faithful to this pledge. This after the New York Times and the Associated Press, citing U.S. and allied sources, reported that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is planning to travel to the eastern Russian city of Vladivostok to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. Top of the agenda, the reports say, is the possibility of Pyongyang supplying Moscow with weapons for its war with Ukraine. In July, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu visited Pyongyang to celebrate Victory Day, marking the end of the Korean War. There, he reportedly brought up the matter of arms sales to Russia. The United States, which recently conducted annual war drills with ally South Korea, is expressing its concerns. National Security Council spokeswoman Adrienne Watson said the U.S. intelligence suggests Kim may continue these discussions and urged Pyongyang to abide by its previous public comments. It would be a rare trip abroad for Kim, who visited Putin in Moscow in 2019, as ties between Pyongyang and the Kremlin gradually improved. North Korea had close ties with the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Kim would likely travel by armored train to Vladivostok, which is almost 700 kilometers northeast of Pyongyang. South Korea's spy agency, meanwhile, says Russia may have proposed that North Korea take part in a three-way military exercise, also involving China. This was revealed by a lawmaker, Yoo Sang-bum, who attended a closed-door meeting of Seoul's top intelligence officials. It comes days after Russia's ambassador in North Korea, Alexander Matsugora, told Russian media that such drills seems appropriate as a response to U.S. and South Korean exercises. When pressed on the issue, Shoigu, quoted by Interfax news agency, said, "Why not? These are our neighbors. You don't choose your neighbors, and it's better to live with them in peace and harmony." Nazri Karim, TVB News.
The UK's second largest city has declared bankruptcy after being hit by equal pay claims of as much as £760 million. As British lawmakers head back to Parliament this week after their summer break, thousands of UK children won't be returning to their classrooms because their schools are at risk of collapse from crumbling concrete. Tracy Furness has more. In the U.S. state of Nevada, event organizers for counterculture festival Burning Man have allowed tens of thousands of stranded festival goers to leave the site. This after 1.3 centimeters of rain fell Friday, causing flooding and foot-deep mud. NBC News has more. Back locally, amid concerns about the national security law, there are fears Hong Kong no longer appeals to international professionals and businesses. Sushila Rivers, the managing partner of an international law firm in Hong Kong, said on TVB's Straight Talk program that such worries have been overstated.
NSL probably hasn't got the impact on business the way that people feared, and number one. And number two, I would like to make the point that many countries have got national securities laws legislation. Look at Hong Kong factually, interrogate the information, look at China without bias lens.
Rivers also offered some suggestions to Chief Executive John Lee as he's preparing for his second policy address. She said Lee needs to communicate well with Hong Kong people as well as internationally. A dog died after its leash was caught in the doors of a lift in Saiwan this morning. Mimo Sangai with more.
After the accident, a towel was used to cover the dog's body. The domestic helper who was with the dog was frightened and had to be comforted by others. The incident happened before 10 a.m. this morning when the helper was returning to her employer's home after walking 3 dogs. Sources say one of the dogs did not follow the helper into the lift when the doors closed, causing its leash to become stuck between the panels and strangle the animal as the machine rose. An expert from the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals believes the accident could have been avoided.
The helper was handling 3 dogs at the same time. It's very challenging. When you have more than 1 dog in a household, it will be ideal 1 person handle 1 dog, because each dog is individual.
What should dog owners and carers do to prevent similar accidents happening in the future?
When we take the dog out, I would suggest people not to use the collar only. It's the best, to use the harness. If your dog were pulling on leash all the time, then probably you have to consider an anti-pulling harness.
The expert reminded carers to focus on the behaviors of dogs when they are out for a walk, because the animal can become nervous or excited in different surroundings. Memos 9, TVB News.
Here's a look at the markets. In the US, the Dow is down 0.13%, S&P 500 down 0.18%. In Europe, FTSE down 0.2%, French CAC down 0.34%, and the German DAX down 0.34%. Tonight's Mark 6 numbers are 2, 5, 20, 24, 27, 32, and the extra number is 12. And a look at the weather before we go. All tropical cyclone signals were cancelled at 9:40 p.m. Tomorrow will be mainly cloudy with a few showers, temperatures between 27 and 30 degrees. That's the news. Thanks for watching.